Good morning, you sexy, superb self-storage geeks, you. Uh, there's a compliment in there and there's an insult. All right, well, geeks is an insult. I don't know. Anyway, let's get on. Right, so I was reading and I have actually done an episode about this in my newsletter. If you haven't logged on and signed up, it is mrselfstorage.com as I'm trying to fiddle around with my microphone. There we go. Is it? Yeah. And I put this, I do a self-storage tip or a business tip every single day and tell you all my figures and stuff. So head on over there and you get an email around about 6:45. Most days it's 6:45. A couple of days this week, it's been a little bit later. The wife's been a beefer, so it meant that I couldn't do it on an evening. But yeah, it's normally 6:45 and you see how well the site's been doing. Okay, so David Ogilvy, I think that's how you pronounce it. As you know, I'm shocking at pronouncing words. And he was on a podcast that I was listening to, and he's a marketing genius. And something he's famous for saying was, pay peanuts and get monkeys. Focus on hiring the best people you can afford. Your people determine your company. That is so good. Pay peanuts and get monkeys. Focus on hiring the best people you can afford. Your people determine your company. So I was talking to Ollie Dunn about this, and Ollie Dunn. So basically, we've been in a situation recently where, unfortunately, a member of staff, and we had a slick team. We had 3 full-time members of staff, and we had Claire that was part-time member of staff, right? And so we had a slick operation. But the only problem is, when somebody was on holiday, it used to put a little bit of pressure on the rest of the team. Not too much, but just a little bit. And if somebody would have left, then it was a lot of pressure. It was a lot of pressure, but nobody's left before. Unfortunately, this person had something happen in her life that meant it was personal reasons, and it was one domino affected the other, and it was no longer an option for her to work at Stormont. Nothing to do with, we didn't make that decision, she made that decision because it was life. And what we've got to remember is, as business owners, that people have lives. And unfortunately, their life is always going to trump your business, and it should, 100%. And so everything was running smoothly until this bump in the road happened. Not bump, it's a major bump in the road in this person's life. And unfortunately, it meant that she could no longer work in storage. And so we was in a position where, right now, it worked before, but it only worked before because there was no bumps in the roads. And now was understaffed. We only had 2 members of staff. One was due on holiday, and we had Claire, which obviously Claire works 2 days a week, but some kids' holidays she never works, and this, that, and the other, she doesn't work. So as GM say, we don't expect her. It's a benefit when she comes, but we don't expect her. We don't rely on her, I think he said. And that probably sums it up very fairly and perfectly. So in this instance, I realized that all of a sudden it's impacting not only the storage company, but it's impacting Angela, it's impacting James because they're working extra hours, they're doing longer shifts, they're putting more pressure on them. It's busier when they're there. And I thought, right, we're never, ever going to be in this situation again. And so we reached out to Ollie Dunn and said, Ollie Dunn, help me, mate, help me. I need a staff member ASAP. Don't know how he did it, but he found this amazing person. But before he found this amazing person, he actually said to me, he said, listen, what are you paying? And so I left it to Angela, and I said, well, I don't know, just a bit above, because it's a sales assistant. And I left it to Angela and said, just pay above minimum wage. And then Ollie rang me up and said, Dean, yes, we can get you somebody for that. However, if you pay an extra £5,000 a year, I can get you somebody incredible, somebody amazing. And the best of the best sales assistants will be wanting to be working for you. I was like, Ollie, you've sold me, sir. You have sold me. And so straight away, he got this amazing chap from Audi. Yes, Audi salesman came and worked for us. And as it happens, crazily, Jack, who's come from Audi, he actually sold my mum and dad their car. So my mum and dad are already massive fans. And I don't know how we worked it out, but he sold my mum and dad. I think he recognized the name Booty and realized that he had a customer called Booty, and that's me. I was like, oh my God, this is meant to be. Brilliant guy, amazing at sales, and just a people person, just somebody who's a people person. So what that made me realize was that David Ogilvy is 100% correct. Oh, by the way, it wasn't talking. David Ogilvy, obviously, I think David Ogilvy's passed away now, but he wasn't on the podcast, but there was talking about the great marketing genius, David Ogilvy. So it wasn't him on the podcast that was talking about David. And he is renowned for his marketing prowess and sayings, and just being very, not opinionated, but going against the normal grain, because a lot of companies back in the day would pay what they not what they could afford, but what they could get away with. And he went completely against the grain and wanted to employ the best of the best. And so this then, the success with Jack made me think about, right, okay, so we've replaced somebody. We replaced that person who, for personal reasons, had to leave. But if somebody else was to leave, or if I had a family problem or a family emergency, we'd be straight back at day one again, at ground one. And I'd be ringing up Ollie and saying, Ollie, I need somebody else again. So we thought, right, we need to employ somebody else. And so Katie Garfoot came along. And we'd had a relationship with her. I knew her from LinkedIn. I met her at the Self Storage Award. We text each other every now and again. And I knew that she was an A player. But A players obviously come for A money. And I'm going back to what, because I've listened to this a long, long time ago. David Ogilvy says, pay peanuts and you get monkeys. And so what we did was we thought, no, do you know what? We're going to have Katie be the manager of our new site that we're getting that I can't announce yet. I'm signing today on Wednesday. I'm recording this on Wednesday and it's going out Wednesday. I'm signing today, so I'll be able to announce it Friday. I might do a special episode on Friday, but I do need to call people to let them know, because I want to be upfront and honest and say, hey, I know you, we're coming in your market, but we shouldn't affect you. And anyway, I just want to make the call. So we employed Katie, and Katie has hit the ground running. What was James's words? Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce. I love it. I think she did 7 or 8 reservations or 9 reservations last week in a first week. It was incredible. She understood Space Manager, because for those of you who don't know Space Manager, it is complicated. And not because there's anything wrong with Space Manager, but it's just a new software. But she already knew it from a previous role, some Magnetic, I think it was. And so she already knew how to work Space Manager. So she was, this hasn't changed much. And off she went, off to the races. So it was brilliant. So this has really underlined, these 2 people who we've employed have really underlined the fact that if you pay that little bit more, if you go above and beyond and get them A-star players. I mean, now I used to be worried because we only had certain people in on certain days and it was single manning, but now none of that. We never single man anymore. And we've got A players. We've got a goddamn Audi salesman for starters. And we've got Katie Garfoot, who's worked in self-storage for 9 years, managed sites, multiple sites. And so we spent more money, and that meant that it increased our expenses and the wages that we pay. But is it worth it? 100% yes. Because don't forget, your self-storage facility or your business is very reliant on your team. Get the best team you can. I've got some more notes here on David Ogilvy's. This is an unpopular opinion I put here, but something I totally agree with. Focus on increasing your revenue, not saving money on hiring average. Hire brilliance. Oh, I summed it up pretty well there. Hire brilliance. And a big shout out to Ollie Dunn as well, because it was advice from Ollie that really made me sit up and take note and think, yeah, do you know what? Why? We're an A-star business. Why do we want to employ B people? I look after people, A-star. For self-storage facilities are A-star. The direction, the trajectory that we're going on is A-star. So why would we ever employ anything other than A-star? And so, yeah, I put here, this is your leverage in your industry or sector. Hire brilliance. David Ogilvy. I put, wow, take a bow, David. Utter brilliance. I have taken this approach with my business. I want to hire in line with a future growth, my future business, not where I am right now. I think that sentence is so important. I want to hire in line with my future growth, my future business, not where I am right now. It's incredible. That is great. I mean, I wrote these notes a long time ago, and I'm like, holy shit! I'm actually doing that. I'm doing it. I'm hiring. Do we need all the members of staff we've got now? No, probably not. But we will do in the future. And so therefore, we're hiring for the future. We're hiring for future growth. I'll part by saying, be confident enough to hire people who are better than you. Boom. Boom. I actually probably think that if you spoke to Katie at an event and got a beer in her, a wine in her, and asked her, what's Dean like? How good is Dean? I probably think she'd say, not as good as I thought he would be. Not as organized, not as this, not as that. That's brilliant because I want to hire. I want to surround. I want to be like a cocoon. I want to be in the cocoon and I want to be protected by amazing people at their jobs. I want to be surrounded by people who are better than me. Why do I want to be the best in the company? I don't. I shouldn't be the best in the company, nor should you. You should hire brilliance. You should hire people better than you. And you should be confident enough to realize that you are hiring people better than you and you can handle it. You can handle that. You can handle being the dumbest person in the room and not the smartest person in the room. That's how you grow businesses. You don't grow businesses by hiring people for your self-worth, people who are worse than you, people who aren't as good as you. You hire people better than you. And yes, I'll be better at certain things than other people in my team. But God damn it, they are better than me at so many other things. I don't need to be better than them. Do they need to be better than me? I don't know. That's an interesting question. I don't know. They definitely need to be better than me at some things, like Angela, organization, brilliant, understanding, filing and when the insurance is due, etc., etc., etc. All that good stuff. I'm rubbish at that. I know I'm rubbish at that, but Angela's brilliant at that. But then finding sites, doing the reports on how good a potential site is going to be, that is where I excel. That is where I am good at finding the sites, doing the cash flows, making sure we can afford it, getting the borrowing in. I'm good at that, but I'm not good at the nitty gritty. And that's why we need to surround me to protect my weaknesses because I've got so many. And so many people pretend they don't have weaknesses and just put it to the back there and not worry about it. But we also need to embrace our weaknesses. We need to know our weaknesses as leaders, because if you know your weaknesses and embrace them, then you can hire around them. You can find people who are better than you. Am I the world's greatest salesman? No, I am. No. I actually think I was pretty good at sales, but would I be good at sales now? No, I haven't done it for so long. I don't think I would be. Can I relate to customers? Can I talk to customers? Yes. But could I close a customer? Probably. But would I be as good as my team? Probably not. I don't know, actually. I don't want to dissell myself because I'm sat there thinking, it's a great question, that. I don't know. I think if I got back into it, I could be pretty good at sales. But my team are good at sales as well. So be confident enough to hire brilliance. And I'm going to say that line again. I want to hire in line with my future growth, my future business, not where I am right now. Oh, I love it. Jack, Katie, you are awesome. Angela, James, you are also awesome. And my wife, thanks for coming every now and again. I'm joking. You are awesome as well. All right. Look at me. I have a whale of a time on these podcasts. Right. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming along this journey. I will speak to you Friday when all being well, I can tell you about a new self-storage site that we have. All right. See you soon. Bye-bye.